My husband hit me when I refused to quit my job to care for his mother. So I recorded everything. Hello my people. Don't forget to hit subscribe, say hi below and share your location. We love seeing our family from all over the world. Let's get into the story. I never thought my marriage would end with my face pressed against our kitchen counter, but here we are. I'm getting ahead of myself though. Let me take you back to 3 weeks ago when everything started unraveling. Baby, we need to talk about Mama, Austin said, turning off the TV. His tone already had that edge I'd learned to recognize over our 5 years of marriage. The edge that meant his family had been in his ear again. I set down my work laptop where I'd been reviewing the Thompson account. A major promotion hung on closing that deal. What about her? Her hip surgery went well, but she needs someone full-time for the next 6 months. The doctors said. Austin, that's wonderful about the surgery. I can help on weekends, but during the week I have the Thompson presentation and that's the thing, Janelle. He rubbed his temples in that way he does when he's rehearsed a conversation. We think it's best if you take a leave of absence. Or maybe just resign. We don't really need your income. My stomach dropped. We absolutely needed my income. I made $73,000 annually as a senior account manager. His job at his uncle's construction company barely cleared 45, and that was when business was good. We don't need my income? I repeated slowly. Austin, I pay our mortgage. I pay for your car note. Your mother has 3 other children who all have families and responsibilities. You're the only one without kids. It makes sense. That word. Sense. Like my career that I'd built over 8 years meant nothing. Like the promotion I was weeks away from securing was disposable. I'm not quitting my job, I said firmly. His jaw tightened. We'll talk about this later. But I saw it in his eyes. This conversation was far from over. The family meeting happened 2 days later at his mother's house. I should have known it was an ambush when I walked in and saw all of Austin's siblings sitting in the living room like a tribunal. His mother, Gloria, sat in her recliner with her leg propped up, looking far more comfortable than someone who'd supposedly needed emergency in-home care. Janelle. So good of you to come, Gloria said with that smile that never reached her eyes. We were just discussing my care situation. Austin's older sister, Cheryl, jumped in immediately. We've worked out a schedule. Each of us can take weekends, but we need someone during the week. That's when I have my job at the salon, Brian has his trucking routes, and Denise has the twins. Everyone looked at me. Waiting. I have a job too, I said, keeping my voice level. A demanding one that I can't just leave for 6 months. But you don't have children, Denise said, bouncing one of her twins on her knee. Surely your job can accommodate family emergencies? This isn't my emergency. Gloria has 4 children and I'm not one of them. The room went silent. You could hear the clock ticking on the wall. Excuse me. Gloria's voice dropped to that dangerous whisper. After everything I've done for you, I welcomed you into this family and this is how you repay me. Mama, please, Austin started, but she cut him off. No, let her speak. Clearly Janelle has priorities that don't include family. Tell me, dear, what exactly did I do to deserve such disrespect in my own home? My hands were shaking. This woman had criticized everything about me for 5 years. My hair, my clothes, my cooking, my inability to give Austin children despite us trying. Now she was playing victim? I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being realistic. I have a career. A career, Cheryl scoffed. You're not a doctor, Janelle. You're in sales. They'll replace you in a week. After that meeting, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Text after text from Austin's family members, each one more guilt-inducing than the last. From Cheryl, real wives sacrifice for their husband's family. Makes me wonder about your commitment. From Denise, when my husband's family needed help, I was there. No questions asked. From Brian, disappointed in you, Janelle. Mama always spoke so highly of you. Even distant cousins I'd met once started weighing in. The group chat Austin had added me to years ago exploded with passive-aggressive messages and Bible verses about honoring thy mother and father. But the worst was Austin himself. He stopped sleeping in our bedroom, choosing the couch instead. would brush past me in the hallway without speaking. When I tried to discuss compromise solutions, hiring a home health aide, splitting costs among siblings, he'd just shake his head. You're being selfish, Janelle. This is my mother we're talking about. And this is my career. The promotion I've worked toward for 3 years. Can we at least? Some things are more important than money. Easy for him to say. I'd paid for his mother's birthday cruise last year. Covered his portion of her property taxes when the construction business had a slow month. Bought her the expensive orthopedic chair she'd wanted for Christmas. On day 5 of the silent treatment, I cracked. I called my best friend Tasha, sobbing in my car during lunch break. He's making me feel crazy, Tash. Like I'm this horrible person for wanting to keep my job. Girl, that man is gaslighting you. His mama has 3 other damn children. Why is this on you? Because I don't have kids. Because apparently that makes my time worthless. Your time is worth $73,000 annually. Don't let them make you forget that. But forgetting seemed easier than the constant pressure. My resolve was cracking. I almost caved. God help me, I was actually drafting a resignation email when my boss, Carolyn, called me into her office. Janelle, the Thompson deal is yours to close. The partners are so impressed with your work that they're creating a new vice president of client relations position. We want you to apply. Vice president. The words hung in the air like a lifeline. The salary would be $120 base, plus commission and equity options. You've earned this. I walked out of that office floating. Then I drove home and told Austin, hoping he'd finally understand what I was being asked to sacrifice. His response. That's nice, babe. But have you thought more about Mama? Austin, did you hear me? Vice President. This is everything I've worked for. I heard you. And I'm happy for you. But Mama needs help now, not in 6 months after you climb another rung on your ladder. Pie ladder? This is our future. Our financial security. We could finally buy a real house, start saving for. For what, Janelle? We don't have kids. What are we saving for? There it was again. That subtle knife twisted just right. The fact that we'd been trying for 2 years with no success, each negative test breaking my heart a little more. Now he was weaponizing it. That's not fair, I whispered. You want to talk about fair? My mother raised me while working 3 jobs. She sacrificed everything. And you can't give her 6 months. I'm not her child, Austin. No, you're my wife. And right now you're acting like a stranger. He'd never yelled at me like that before. His face was red, veins bulging in his neck. I took a step back instinctively. I'm applying for the position, I said quietly. And I'm closing the Thompson deal. Your mother will have to make other arrangements. That's when everything changed. He hit me so fast I didn't see it coming. The back of his hand connected with my cheekbone, sending me stumbling into the counter. Pain exploded through my face, bright and shocking. I touched my cheek, feeling the heat rising under my skin. Austin stood there, breathing hard, his hand still raised like he might do it again. Austin. My voice came out small, foreign. Don't. He pointed at me, his hand shaking now. Don't you dare make me the bad guy here. You pushed me to this. All you had to do was be a good wife, but you had to be selfish, had to put your precious career first. You hit me. The words felt surreal. This was Austin. My husband. The man who'd cried at our wedding, who brought me soup when I was sick, who'd promised to love and protect me. I barely touched you. Stop being dramatic. But his voice wavered. He knew. We both knew this had crossed a line we couldn't uncross. He left the house, slamming the door so hard the wedding photo on the wall rattled. I slid down to the kitchen floor, my whole body trembling. The cold tile against my legs felt grounding, real, while everything else felt like a nightmare. My phone sat on the counter above me. I should call someone. My mama. The police. But shame kept me frozen there. How did I explain this? How did I admit that I'd ignored the red flags? The controlling behavior, the way he always sided with his mother, the subtle put-downs that had grown less subtle over time. 20 minutes passed before I finally stood up. I walked to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. An angry red mark bloomed across my cheekbone, already darkening toward purple. I took a photo. I didn't know why yet. Some instinct told me I'd need proof. Need protection. Need something. Austin came home 3 hours later with flowers and apologies. Baby, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. The stress with Mama, the pressure from work. I would never hurt you intentionally. You know that, right? I love you so much. He'd been crying. His eyes were red and swollen and he looked genuinely devastated. This was the Austin I'd fallen in love with, vulnerable, emotional human. You hit me, I said again, needing to say it out loud. To make it real. I know. God, Janelle, I know. I'm so sorry. It will never happen again. I swear on everything. I'm going to be better. We're going to get through this. He reached for my face gently, his fingers barely grazing the bruise. Does it hurt bad? Part of me wanted to lean into his touch, to accept the apology and pretend it never happened. The other part, the part that was growing stronger, recoiled. I need space to think, I told him. Of course. Whatever you need. I'll sleep in the guest room. I'll give you all the space you want. Just, please don't give up on us. The next morning his mother called. I stared at her name on the screen, debating whether to answer. Hello. Janelle, baby, Austin told me about your argument last night. These things happen in marriage. All couples go through rough patches. He told you he hit me? Pause. He said things got heated. You have to understand the pressure he's under. His mother recovering from surgery, his wife refusing to help the family. A man can only take so much. My blood went cold. So you're saying I deserved it? I'm saying marriage requires sacrifice. My husband, rest his soul, and I had our moments. That's how you grow stronger together. I hung up without responding. While Austin was at work, I went through his phone. I'd never done that before. Always believed in trust and privacy. But something was screaming at me to look deeper. What I found made my hands shake. A group chat with his siblings titled, The Janelle Problem. Messages going back 6 months. Cheryl, you need to get your wife under control. Mama needs help and she's acting like her job matters more than family. Austin, I'm working on it. She's stubborn. Brian, maybe she needs to understand the consequences of disrespecting this family. Denise, when Thomas got out of line, I made sure he understood where his priorities should be. Sometimes you have to be firm. Austin, how firm? Denise, use your imagination. Just make sure it doesn't show anywhere visible. The messages continued, getting progressively darker. They planned this. The family meeting, the pressure campaign, even Austin's violence. It had all been coordinated. Then I found the other text. Between Austin and his mother. Gloria, that girl thinks she's better than us with her fancy job. Show her who's head of household. Austin, I will, Mama. She'll fall in line. Gloria, your father had to teach me a few lessons when we were young. Made me a better wife. Janelle needs the same guidance. I took screenshots of everything. My hands were steady now, my mind crystal clear. This wasn't about his mother's hip surgery. This was about control. About breaking me down until I became whoever they wanted me to be. I thought about my grandmother who'd stayed with my grandfather despite his abuse. Thought about the women I'd counseled at the domestic violence fundraiser my company sponsored. I told them, you deserve better. There's always a way out. Now I had to believe it myself. I started documenting everything. Bought a small recording device that looked like a pen and kept it in my pocket. Downloaded an app that backed up audio files to a private cloud account Austin couldn't access. 3 days later my preparation paid off. Austin came home angry. I could see it in the way he parked the truck, slamming the door, his shoulders tight as he walked up the driveway. We need to talk, he said, brushing past me into the house. I pressed the button on the pen in my pocket. Recording. Hey. What's going on? My family thinks you're disrespecting all of us. Mama called me crying today because you hung up on her. Do you know how that makes me look? Like I can't handle my own wife. Austin, she basically said I deserved to be hit. She did not say that. You're twisting her words like you always do. She was trying to give you marriage advice and you got offensive. I got offensive? You put your hands on me and I'm somehow the problem. His face darkened. You know what? I'm tired of this. You're going to quit that job and help my mother or we're done. Simple as that. Then I guess we're done. The words came out before I could stop them, but once they were in the air I knew they were right. True. Final. What did you just say to me? He moved closer, backing me toward the wall. I said, we're done. I'm not quitting my job. I'm not taking care of your mother. And I'm not staying in a marriage where I get hit for having boundaries. You ungrateful. He grabbed my arm, his fingers digging into my skin hard enough to leave marks. I gave you everything. A home. A family. Respect. And this is how you repay me. Let go of me, Austin. Or what? Leave? Go where? No one's going to want you. You can't even have kids. He shoved me against the wall, his forearm pressing against my throat. Not hard enough to cut off air, but hard enough to terrify. You think you're so smart with your fancy job and your big words. But you're nothing without me. Nothing. You understand. I couldn't speak with his arm against my throat, so I nodded. Survival mode had kicked in. Agree. De-escalate. Survive. He released me suddenly and I gasped, coughing. My throat ached. My arm throbbed where he'd grabbed it. I'm going to my mother's house. When I come back tomorrow, you better have made the right decision. I want a resignation email drafted and ready to send. The door slammed. His truck roared to life and screeched out of the driveway. I stood there for a full minute just breathing. Then I pulled out the recording pen and stopped the recording. Checked the app. Everything had uploaded successfully. Then I took photos of my arm, where 4 distinct finger-shaped bruises were already forming. Of my throat, where redness marked where he'd pressed. I called Tasha. Girl, what's wrong? You sound. Can I stay with you tonight? I'll explain everything when I get there. Of course. Come now. I'm home. I threw clothes into a bag, grabbed my laptop and work files and walked out of that house. I didn't know if I'd ever come back. At Tasha's apartment, I played her the recording. Showed her the photos. The text messages. Everything. She cried. Actually cried, pulling me into a hug that made me finally break down too. We're going to the police, she said. Not yet. I need to get all my ducks in a row first. If I file a report now, he'll know I'm serious about leaving. I need to be strategic. What's your plan? I pulled up my laptop. I'm going to destroy him. Legally, professionally, and publicly. I took the next day off work. Told Carolyn I had a family emergency. Not a lie. Then I went to see a lawyer, a woman named Diane who specialized in domestic violence cases. You've done well documenting everything, she said, reviewing the photos and recordings. This gives us solid grounds for a restraining order and assault charges if you want to pursue them. I do. But I want more than that. His family has been orchestrating this. They've been encouraging him to abuse me. Can we do anything about that? Diane's expression hardened. Legally, it's complicated. But we can make their involvement part of the narrative if this goes to trial. More importantly, we can use this evidence to ensure you get everything you're entitled to in the divorce. Divorce. The word felt final. Right. I also want to keep my job and make sure he can't sabotage my career. He knows where I work, knows my boss's name. I'm worried he'll show up and cause a scene. We'll include a workplace protection clause in the restraining order. If he comes within 500 feet of your office building, he'll be arrested immediately. Over the next 2 hours, we built a case. Filed for a restraining order. Drafted divorce papers. Set up a safety plan. One more thing, I said as we finished. I want to record what I say to him when I tell him it's over. I want him to incriminate himself one more time. That's risky, Janelle. I know. But I need this. For me. I went back to Tasha's and waited for Austin to call. He didn't disappoint. Where are you? I came home and your car is gone. I'm somewhere safe. We need to talk. Come home and we'll talk. No. We can meet somewhere public. The coffee shop on 5th Street. Tomorrow at noon. Silence. You're really doing this? Throwing away our marriage over a disagreement. See you tomorrow, Austin. I wore a scarf to hide the bruises on my throat. Had the recording pen in my purse already running. Diane sat 3 tables away, pretending to work on her laptop but watching everything. Austin showed up 10 minutes late, looking exhausted. For a moment I felt sorry for him. Then I remembered the way his arm felt against my throat. Janelle, thank God. I've been so worried. Can we please stop this and go home? I'm filing for divorce, Austin. His face went through several emotions: shock, anger, disbelief. You can't be serious. I've never been more serious. I've also filed for a restraining order. You'll be served with papers later today. A restraining order? For what? Because we had one argument. Because you hit me. Because you choked me. Because your family has been encouraging you to abuse me into submission. That's insane. You're twisting everything to make me look like some kind of monster. I love you. You don't love me. You love the idea of controlling me. His voice rose. I gave you everything. I made you my wife. I brought you into my family. Your family that treats me like an unpaid servant? That expects me to sacrifice my career, my dreams, my entire identity to serve your mother. She needs help. Then help her yourself. Or hire someone. Or ask your siblings to step up. But you're not using me anymore. He leaned forward, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. You walk away from this marriage, you'll have nothing. I'll make sure of it. I'll tell everyone what kind of wife you were. How selfish. How cold. No one will believe your lies about me. They're not lies, Austin. And I have proof. His eyes widened slightly. Proof. Of everything. Every text. Every bruise. Every recording of you threatening me. It's all documented. Austin's lawyer contacted mine 3 days later. He wanted to settle quickly, quietly. Offer me a reasonable split of assets if I agreed not to press charges. He's scared, Diane said. That recording where he threatened you? Combined with the physical evidence? He knows he'll lose everything if this goes public. What do you recommend? Depends on what you want. Justice? Or just to move on? I thought about it for a long time. Part of me wanted to see him prosecuted, wanted him to face real consequences. But another part just wanted it to be over. I want 3 things, I finally said. Full ownership of the house, he can take his name off the deed. I keep my retirement accounts. And he signs an affidavit admitting to the abuse that I can use if he ever tries to come after me again or damages my reputation. Done. I'll have papers drawn up today. But the universe wasn't finished with its revelations. That evening Cheryl called me. Actually called me, which she'd never done in 5 years. Janelle, we need to talk. I have nothing to say to you. Please. Just listen. She sounded tough. Not her usual aggressive self. I went through Austin's phone. He left it at Mama's house. I saw everything. The messages about encouraging him to hit you. The planning. I know. I have screenshots. No, you don't understand. There's more. Mama's surgery? It wasn't an emergency. She scheduled it for months ago, specifically timed it for when she knew you were up for your promotion. She was listening when you told Austin about it last Christmas. My blood ran cold. What? She wanted to sabotage you. Said you were getting too successful, too independent. That you needed to be reminded of your place. Austin went along with it because she promised to finally give him the house Daddy left her. The one he always wanted. So this was all planned? From the beginning. Not just planned. Orchestrated. I'm so sorry, Janelle. I went along with it because Mama always gets what she wants in this family. But what Austin did to you, that's not okay. None of this was okay. After she hung up, I sat in stunned silence. The cruelty of it was breathtaking. They'd strategized my destruction like a military campaign. All for what? Control? Money? Some twisted sense of family loyalty? The divorce finalized 6 weeks later. Austin signed everything, the house, the affidavit, all of it. I heard through mutual friends that Gloria never gave him that house she'd promised. She'd already signed it over to Brian months before. He'd destroyed our marriage for nothing. I got the promotion. Vice President Janelle Matthews, they called me now. $120 base salary plus commission. I closed the Thompson deal and 3 others by the end of the year. My face healed. The bruises faded. The fingerprints on my arm disappeared. The damage inside took longer, required therapy, required learning to trust again. To believe I deserved good things without having to earn them through suffering. Tasha helped me repaint the house. We covered the walls where Austin had put his fists through during arguments I'd minimized in my mind. Erased the physical evidence of who I'd been when I was trying to make myself smaller for him. 6 months after the divorce, I was promoted again. Director of Business Development. New office with windows overlooking the city. A team of 8 people who respected my expertise. My mother came to visit and said something I'll never forget. Your grandmother stayed because she didn't have options. You left because you knew you deserved better. That's growth, baby. That's healing generations of trauma. I still have the recordings. The photos. The affidavit where Austin admitted to everything. I keep them in a safe deposit box not because I think I'll need them but because they remind me of my strength. Of the moment I chose myself. Sometimes I see Austin around town. He looks smaller now, defeated. I heard he moved back in with Gloria. That she controls every aspect of his life. Where he works, who he dates, how he spends his money. The prison he tried to build for me became his own. I don't feel sorry for him. I feel free. If you're in a situation like this, please know. You deserve better. Document everything. Build your escape plan. And when you're ready, walk away. Your life is waiting on the other side of fear. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Share it with someone who might need to hear this message. You're stronger than you know.